Hi, everybody. Welcome to Valley Views, what you see and what you hear in the Coachella Valley. This is very interesting. This is from my friend at Lifestyles, Gayla Schaefer, and it's Oh So Good For You chocolate. There are two different versions. She gave me a little teeny tiny one to taste, and the guys had a bite, and we have voted that it's quite good. It's Belgian chocolate bars with probiotics to help keep your digestive system healthy. And I mean, I have to say, I'm forever thinking that one day you'll open up the newspaper and it will say, water is not good for you. You just cannot keep up. On our show today, aside from Oh So chocolates, we have a family cookbook, and it was put together, created by, and written by Gloria Freiler, and it is sensational, I have to tell you. Little close to my heart, but it would be close to yours too. We'll talk about that this half hour. We have Lisa Houston will be here from Find Food Bank, and we need to talk about how we can all help make it easier for people who are hungry to eat. And in our last segment we have wanted to have her here for so long, Amy Alcott. And you will remember so many wonderful things about her when we get to that segment. Hope you can sit back, relax, enjoy Valley Views, and we'll be right back.
What do you have when you buy a Lexus from Desert Lexus? Peace of mind. Peace of mind knowing Desert Lexus has a large inventory of new and certified pre-owned Lexus vehicles for you to choose from, and a service department conveniently open Saturdays, offering a fleet of complimentary service loaners to keep you on schedule. For over 25 years, Desert Lexus has been giving their customers peace of mind. Desert Lexus, located at the Cathedral City Auto Center, or online at desertlexus.com.
Spotlight 29 Casino presents the Happy Together Tour, live on stage with the Turtles, featuring Flo and Eddie, the Buckingham, the Grassroots, and Gary Lewis and the Playboys. Saturday, March 26th at 8 p.m. Don't miss the Happy Together Tour, only at Spotlight 29 Casino, the Valley's best bet.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is the book. It is the family cookbook. And in the interest of full disclosure, I must say that the Gloria Freiler sitting to my right and Richard Caruso sitting to my far right are brother and sister. And so we're all family, and this family cookbook is probably one of the greatest things that I have seen lately, because I hardly ever see anybody. But it is just amazing. And you were telling me, Gloria, that just in the space of, what did you say, a short time, it actually came together.
Well, as far as them putting this book together, yes.
Right.
They did it in July of 2015.
Mm-hmm.
They spent 3 weekends putting it together and doing the cooking and doing the photography. And then a friend of one of my sons actually designed the book and put it together. The recipes go way back.
Yeah.
And what happened initially was about 20 years ago, the kids kept asking me, how do you make this, Mom? How do you make that? And so I sat down and I typed it all out on the computer, and I just printed out pages and handed them to each of the kids. And that's what they used to create this.
And didn't you give us one? Because we made some of those recipes.
Oh yeah, we've used them before.
Yeah.
I know she has it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Special.
Well, I
Just
have
so special.
one favorite. I really enjoyed looking through the book, but it brought back a lot of memories to see a mom in there with you cooking, and the family, and with our dear Aunt Rose in there too. I didn't see Grandma at all, but I saw Aunt Rose. But I have one particular, page 8, which I love. It's a tomato and onion salad that my dad loved. My dad loved to do it himself, you know. And I, to this day, now I still make that one. I did for years.
Yes.
And talks
Right
about
here.
it all the time.
Yeah, it reminds me of Dad.
But that's what's so fantastic. I mean, not only are there incredible recipes, and it was a family project, but it brings back memories, certainly for
That's
you
a great
guys.
one. Yeah, that is
Yeah,
good.
and
That
for
is
your
good.
children.
I'll never one little tidbit here, if I may enter this into the conversation. One thing my dad always said, that Mom was a great cook, but she could never cook a steak.
Oh, that's true.
He said
is
that.
true.
Oh, yeah, and it was true. She couldn't.
It doesn't
remember
matter.
that, so,
Your
but,
eggplant
yeah,
was
but,
to die for.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well, interestingly enough, she didn't eat a lot of these foods.
Yeah, back in the-
But she didn't care for them.
Really?
But she made them for the family, for Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. This was presented to me at Christmas. It was my Christmas gift from my children, from my 2 sons, actually. And so, needless to say, there were tears involved
Oh, yeah.
oh God, imagine,
to
yeah.
open that and see Aunt Rose sitting
Oh,
at the
yeah.
table at one of the
We even
pictures.
got a glimpse of us in one of them.
I mean, I just walked in the house, and this was in the kitchen, and I looked at it, and I said, oh, but I didn't know that background. I didn't know that it was a surprise for you at Christmas time.
It was.
I mean, what a gift.
Yeah, it
Yes.
really is. Really
Amazing
is.
Yes.
gift.
Amazing.
You guys did very, very, very well.
Yeah.
Now there'll have to be book number 2.
I don't think so.
There's enough for there. That is but the best part about it is the fact the memories it brings back. That is
Yes.
very, very important to me, to all of us actually. So
Yeah.
very
What-
good.
One of the recipes in there is our tomato sauce.
Yeah.
And I actually tried to market it at one time. But my youngest son makes a very large batch of it at Christmas time. And he gives it to all of his friends, co-workers. They put it in jars and seal it and everything. And every year, he puts a picture of his 2 little kids on the front.
Aww.
But it's called Caruso Family Pasta Sauce. And all of his friends and co-workers look forward to getting it every year, too.
Sure.
So-
Because that's special.
Well, I got to try that recipe for sauce. I use my own, which is very secret type thing.
Yeah, very
And I love
secret.
it. I love
Okay.
it. But I'm going to try that one. Go
Okay,
back.
but just
And
don't be
one
telling
thing
everybody about it.
Yeah. One thing I did miss in there, Mom always used to make the best, before pizza was really in vogue, but she could really make the best pizza. She used to cut it up in little pieces like that. When my dad's friends from the Elks Club and so forth were, they just looked forward to that so much. But
Yeah.
I didn't see the pizza in there, but
No.
we remember it. remember it well. So it's real good.
Well, one of Richard's sons, Tony, was here last weekend, and he was looking at this book, and he looked through it, and he said, hey, Patty, you know, if you see Aunt Gloria, I would like to have this book, but I would like for her to sign it. If she can't sign it the way I'd like for her to sign it, then I'm not going to pay for the book. And I said, well, I'm not even sure how much the book is, but it's worth whatever it is. And he said, well, I just want her to say, for Jack, and cross it out, for my most favorite nephew, Al, and cross it out. And he went through about 5 names. And he said, and then she can put Tony and sign it, Aunt Gloria. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very good, Gloria.
That's a terrific Christmas gift.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Valley Views will be back. Nothing this exciting, nothing this tasty, but we will be back.
Welcome to J. Russell The Salon, a comprehensive beauty center with over 60 specialists here to help you with all your beauty needs.
We have been redefining beauty for over 30 years. Our state-of-the-art salon is designed to maximize your experience. Come and enjoy the feeling of beauty for yourself. You know the name,
You know the building.
you know the reputation.
We'd like to get to know you.
Fine Food Bank is absolutely amazing at what they do, and it's been happening for a very, very long time. And here with me to talk about all of it is Lisa Houston. What an amazing job you do over there,
Thank you.
truly. But what I was thinking of was a very long time ago, and it was a Christmas party here, and I think it was for Media Mavens. And I'd ask everyone, instead of bringing a gift, one for another, to bring something for Fine Food Bank. And so that was so long ago, and it has come so far.
It's so funny because You know, it's still acts of giving such as that where we get people getting married. And instead of getting gifts, maybe it's their third marriage. And so they, in turn, they'll say, please make donations to the Fine Food Bank in lieu of the gifts and things like that. And, you know, it's been really a dynamic since the 6 years I've been with Find, how we've changed on so many levels.
Yeah.
You know, we were this tiny little entity in Cathedral City nobody knew anything about. And now we're in this huge building in India. We have expanded to over 11 million pounds of food.
Oh my goodness.
Over half of that is fresh produce. So we've so changed, but it still never seems to shock me on how little people really know on who we are and what it is we do.
That's well said and a very, very good point. I think that shows like this, I think anytime you hear it mentioned, anytime you hear Lisa Houston's name mentioned, you also think of that. And I think that's probably where you're going to find your best result.
We're working, you know, when I first came in to Find, it was said to me, this is the best kept secret.
Ooh.
And so my whole mission from that moment forward was, so how do I tell the world?
Yeah.
You know, how do I get it out there? And, you know, it's a really interesting aspect because for so many of us, food is so accessible. It's around us in so many ways.
Yeah.
It's at the grocery store, it's at the corner store, it's at the restaurant, it's at a friend's house and things like that. And so when you talk about food insecurity, I don't think people really understand what it is we're referring to because they just assume that, you know, well, the food's there. And they're very correct in that thought process. The amount of food needed is definitely there.
Yes.
It's the actual acquisition of bringing that food in and coordinating it and getting it out. Mm-hmm. And you know, so on the flip side, people think, well, the people that need it, well, that's the homeless population. And the actuality is that's only a really small percentage of who we serve. The majority of who we serve are kids and seniors.
Wow.
And, you know, and then when you attach, you know, those children to families, most of those people, over 60 some odd % of them, are working 2 and 3 jobs. And so it's a really interesting dynamic that we work in, and it's one we're actually really going down the road of, is we're investigating the data to really understand what are all these multiple disadvantages these families are being faced with that ends in a result of them standing in a food lineup. And, you know, the work has led us down a road of enlightenment on many levels. Is we don't really understand what it's like to be faced with all these challenges day in and day out, and to realize that these individuals and these families and these seniors go into a survival mode. And so when somebody that doesn't experience it for themselves, they talk about it and they go, well, they made bad decisions.
Oh boy.
Right? Well, they're in survival mode. You're right. They're not making decisions based on good, solid logic or the time to make a decision. They're making decisions based on desperation.
That's right.
And just the simple fact is they're hungry. And so it's been a really interesting last 6 years. It's been exciting, but it can't stop yet.
No, God, goodness, no. And I will tell you that, and I'll probably get letters for this, but. And I know that there are a lot of charities around the world that need attention, funds, whatever. But what about the children who are maybe 30 minutes from here who can't sleep tonight because they're cold or can't sleep tonight because they are hungry?
Correct.
That's what I think everybody should think about. And I know Christmas has, you know, it came and went. I would like to hope that you had a wonderful outpouring.
We do. It's great. But, you know, our next big one that we're getting geared up for is our kids' summer feeding. And so when you refer back to your own fond memories of summertime, it was like, you know, thank goodness it's time for school to be finished. I'm going to go out and enjoy my time with my friends. But what people don't realize is here in the Coachella Valley, over 80%, okay? So think about that. 80% of our kids qualify for free and reduced price lunch at school.
80%.
80% of them. And so, and out of that 80%, a good majority of them are on the free lunch program. Well, when school's out in the summer, there's no meals.
Right.
And so we really focus in every summer on 50,000 children out there who have no idea where they're going to get their lunch every day. And so we do this huge push with partnering with the school districts and getting into the communities that these kids aren't accessing it because they rely on a school bus all year round. And so how do we get the food to them? How do we get the food to the grandparents that are taking care of those kids so mom and dad can continue to work? How do we make sure that the kids that are shut in, who are literally, 11 years old, taking care of their 2 younger siblings and been told to not leave the house until mom and dad return that day, how do we make sure there's enough food for them?
It's hard to think about, but you have to realize it. Tell me about the telethon. I know is on the 8th of April.
Correct. So on the 8th of April, we really do a push to raise awareness in our community. We do a push to raise funds for the sustainability of the food bank, and the majority of that money goes towards the Kids Summer Feeding Program. We really believe, being the staff, myself, the board of directors, and many of our investors, is we have to start investing in the next generation. So that's what Kids Summer Feeding is. It's that next generation. And by keeping the nutrition coming to those kids is ideally going to set them up come September, ready to go back to school.
You're awesome.
Thanks.
Bravo for
Thank
what you
Patty.
do. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you.
And best luck with the telethon,
Thank you.
with all you do. Be right back.
Hi, I'm Gabi for our unique desert lifestyle. You just have to check out Gabi Fashions and Gabi Els Boutique. If you're looking for trendsetting fashions and a fresh, hip vibe, Gabi Els Boutique is what you are looking for. Our fun fashion experts can help you put together a look that will turn heads and get attention. If shopping therapy and a new look gives you that attitude adjustment, come shop Gabi Els Boutique and get noticed.
High above the valley floor, nestled against the mountains, lies Ironwood, a world of beautiful landscapes and vistas so close to nature, but only steps from the heart of Palm Desert. A community rich in history that for generations has honored family, Ironwood offers a sense of place that is always warm and welcoming. With 2 world-class golf courses, tennis, fitness, and spa facilities, Ironwood makes for a wonderful lifestyle experience. Isn't it time you discovered Ironwood?
I am reading the most wonderful book, the Leaderboard. There it is, but I want to read to you what Jim McKay said. One of golf's most gifted and intelligent professionals, and perhaps in all of sports. 4 magazine said, as far as golf legends are concerned, Amy Alcott is in an elite group, carrying a long list of accomplishments and awards, along with the reputation of being one of the game's most creative shot makers. And Golf Magazine, with her 30-plus worldwide victories and 5 major titles, and her wit, wisdom, and walk-the-line style, Amy Alcott has brought dimension and character to golf. And if I played, I would want to be Amy Alcott.
Patty, great to be with you.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here.
This is great after so long.
Oh, I know. Richard Caruso, who knows Amy very,
When
very
she was a
well.
little girl.
And I have wanted you to come and do this forever. We're thrilled.
I'm glad to do it.
Yeah.
This is so great.
It
yeah,
is good.
Lovely.
It's so special having this young lady here with us. If you go back, into the 70s when she was just a little teenager and learning to play golf, she used to come out and play with us guys in the morning, our morning round with Walter Keller, a dear old pro that taught her. And she learned a little competition from that time. But to see her go as far as she has, I remember her first year on the tour, we had a group of us that were sponsors.
Sure.
We sponsored, and including Dean Martin was one of them, Bob Stillwell and some of them. But lasted 1 year because she won so much money, she didn't want us to sponsor her somewhere.
Of course I wanted to do it on my own.
Of course you did.
I didn't want to owe anyone anything.
She was great. She was great. But
We had a lot of good times, Dick.
we really did, Amy. And
Yeah.
to think of the...
I learned all the swear words from you guys.
Oh, we didn't do that.
Yeah.
But they used to put me on the back tees at 6:30 in the morning at Riviera
This
Country
gal,
Club.
she played back with us. And
And
she
you were
was-
how old then?
I was still in
12,
junior high,
13, yeah,
high
14.
school.
Yeah.
You know, I
Right,
was
yeah.
16,
Young.
17 because I turned
Yeah,
pro
she
at
had to-
18.
That was that.
So-
But it was so special to have her with us, and then to see her go on the tour and win that first year was such a thrilling thing.
Had to be.
I think it was, I believe, I may be wrong, but during that year, the year we had the LA Open going at Riviera, while you were playing this tournament. I forget which one. I think it was your first one. What was
the Orange Blossom Classic.
The Orange Blossom Classic.
St. Petersburg, Florida.
So excited to see her win that tournament. It was great.
It was 3 weeks after I turned pro.
Yeah, talk about
It
quick.
was like one of the fastest wins, I guess.
Oh,
but,
God, absolutely.
I remember just qualifying for the tour and running to the phone to tell my mom that I just made the cut, to play on the tour by one shot. And I said, Mom, with the pressure of the qualifying, I said, it's all downhill from here. It's gonna be easy. And then I made this amazing putt 3 weeks later and won my first tournament on my 19th birthday.
On your 19th birthday.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
And Dick and a whole group of people were my sponsors, and everybody was just thrilled and excited for me. And I came back to LA as this young kid, just out on the tour.
Right.
I had a mariachi band greet me at the airport. Somebody sent, it was just great.
Oh, God.
I love it. Great.
And from there, she went on to win U.S. Open. I'll forget that when she won her first U.S. Open. We threw a little party for her at the
Riviera.
in Santa Monica. No, it was at the Branding Room in Santa Monica.
There we go. I remember
Bob
that.
Williams and all the.
Sure.
So it's
Yeah.
a lot of great memories. Great golfer. Great golfer.
Yeah.
But,
Tell us some of yours. Things that just, pop out.
I'm kind of sure.
Well, the beauty of what I've done in professional golf is more the people that I've met. I mean, the life of a professional golfer is really nomadic.
Right.
And you get used to moving and traveling, and it's not glamorous at all.
No.
Sure, if you're in the upper echelon, it's exciting, and you're maybe staying in a few better hotels and whatever. But I did this for over 38 years.
Gosh.
I had 40 trips to Japan. I've been to Kuala Lumpur. I mean, as a young kid, Dick knows, I didn't go to college. I didn't have one college scholarship offer. Well, I did, to go to Dartmouth and play on the men's golf team in the middle of February. But it was a nice offer, but it was before Title IX, with more money being put into women and women's sports. So Walter, my teacher, who we used to hang out with, he says, no college for this gal, she's a little racehorse. She's going out on the pro tour, and that's what I did. And but with all the wins and the highs and the lows and the things that happen along the way, I have to say it's the friends and the people that I've garnered that are just the most special thing. I mean, golf transcends so many things, and
That's what
played
it's really all
golf with
about.
presidents of the United States,
Yes.
Gerald Ford and Bill Clinton, and yada yada, and Ferdinand Marcos of the Philippines.
Yeah.
I actually was at a party there. I guess I was like 22 years old, and got to go into Imelda's closet
Oh, my
and
God.
see all of those shoes.
All those shoes?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
I took the wrong turn from the bathroom and ended up there with guards around me, and I was like trying to.
That
And there
is
was
good.
a room as big as a stadium, and there were every color shoe you could imagine.
Yeah, I always read about
But
that.
the trips to Japan were always exciting, and learning new cultures, and
Well, look at what you've done. You're in the Golf Hall of Fame. That is really something.
I know,
Amen.
but
That
yeah,
is so-
I've
Amen.
got to
Unbelievable.
walk these fairways and greens with some of the great golfers that
You
have ever
It's-
played. And
It's so
I'm-
thrilling just to think of it. It brings tears to my eyes. Just
Yeah.
to think of what you've done over the
Yeah.
years. It
Yes,
is
'cause
really
you've done so
quite
much.
a career. you've
You're going to
had.
have to come back because we've only just gotten started, but we're
Okay.
getting the high sign.
Okay. Patty,
Cannot
this is
even
great.
begin to tell you what it means to have you here.
Thank you.
very special.
Thank you, Patty. Well, we've talked about it a long time,
Long
so
time.
this is terrific to be
But
with
we'll-
you
we'll
on
do
your
it
show.
again. We'll do it again.
Definitely. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's do
okay.
it. Uh-huh.
Okay, and we'll go now to Father Howard Lincoln. Father Lincoln.
Many, many people, and I bet some of you have wondered at times Where is God? Our prayers are not being answered. Our desires are not being filled. God does not seem to be caring. He doesn't even seem to be around. I think it's very important to know that we do not have a God who is aloof or unconcerned about our situation. But God wants us to respond to Him not merely as a miracle worker, but as a God of love. God does not want us to see Him as just an extraordinary doctor or physician to whom we turn only when we need Him. When you think about it, the only time you see a doctor is when you're sick or need something. God does not want that kind of relationship with us. We have all received so many blessings from God, blessings upon which we should frequently ponder, sort of have an attitude of gratitude. All of these blessings should help us to see how good God is and how much we should love Him just for Himself and not just for what He can do for us.
Thank you, Father Lincoln, Father Howard Lincoln, Sacred Heart Church. Just want to remind you, when Gloria was on earlier, Gloria Freiler, she owns Merle Norman, and the number there is 346-3533. We completely forgot that, and her skin is amazing, and she's amazing, and her book is good. And Dick Caruso was a part of that segment today, and he's been a part of this one as well. We may make him a partner, but you had something you wanted to share about Ironwood.
Yeah, I'm just really pleased now, just of late, Amy is now an honorary member of Ironwood Country Club. So she'll be up here playing now and then, so forth.
Yay.
Good to see her.
You can give me a few tips, Dick?
My days are over with Amy. but I look forward to seeing her around here, maybe having dinner at the club and so forth. But welcome to Ironwood. It's great.
Thank you.
Is it too late for me?
No. Just don't let him help you.
No, I just always wanted to, if you play anything, if you have any sport, you want to be good at it. And you have to play a lot of golf.
Yeah, but I think you should take it up because
I'm gonna take that under advisement.
It's like a dance step. Just like a dance step.
See you soon. Thanks to all my guests today. Much love. Big hugs. Amy, thank you.
My pleasure.
How you make it so make it the most on right from the start. What's going on around me and you? There's a girl who can sell the show. She knows a thing or two. It's Patty's Valley View.